Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we have to talk about the absolute level of sheer stupidity that we are with artificial intelligence and how it's quote-unquote helping us. Now, I'm going to give you this reference, and if you're old enough to remember this movie, the big hit from like the late 90s, early 2000s, it starred Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips, and some others. Essentially, there's a scene in there where the main characters basically kidnap somebody, and then they're going to go ransom it back to like the billionaire father or whatever it is. And so in order to basically not have their line traced, they have what's called a trace buster. Okay, so they call, and essentially what happens is the billionaire, the billionaire father or whatever, getting help with law enforcement, they have a trace buster. And that's the level of stupidity that we're at right now, where we have basically a trace buster and then a trace buster and then a trace buster, and on and on and on. And so this is what happened. And for the record, this is pretty much off the cuff here because I saw a commercial, like a ad online for essentially exactly this. Now, we know as of a couple years ago, ChatGPT absolutely exploded onto the scene. And one of the negative ramifications of that was that basically every stoner kid in the back of the college class at the end of the term was basically turning in term papers that were brilliant on things like 7th century Italian poetry and all of this. I consulted with several different universities on just the absolute wave of essentially what this was, because people were leveraging artificial intelligence to essentially write term papers. They weren't studying all these kinds of things. So a cottage industry grew out of that, essentially with AI writing detectors. Now, AI writing detectors were designed to look for ChatGPT, but or ChatGPT competitors as well. I'm just using them generically, but these writing detectors ran on a system that is known as Perplexity, and therein lies the problem with that. They were flagging everything essentially as artificial intelligence generated, including the Constitution of the United States. And the reason being is the Constitution, for example, as written, is so ubiquitous online that the AIs, as they are consuming all of this content, start to see the pattern, and it's less perplexed because it's a very common thing. Therefore, the less perplexed it is, the more likelihood artificial intelligence wrote it. So if I say I'd like to have a cup of, you might think cup of tea, cup of water, cup of coffee, whatever that is, that has a very low perplexity. Therefore, it has a higher ranking to be actually scored as written by artificial intelligence. But if I say I want to have a cup of spiders, well, that's something that you're really not going to hear. Therefore, it's unique. Therefore, they essentially rank it. So there's the issue. The problem is that most people, like ChatGPT, are not coming up with truly perplexing, arguments, statements, and all of that. And so a lot of things are flagged. So enter Phrasely. This is a platform that I saw an ad for, which I think is absolutely stupid and ridiculous, for the record. But their entire premise is, hey, stoner college kid, you're turning in that ChatGPT term paper, and they're catching it left and right with the writing detectors. Why don't you instead copy and paste your ChatGPT written term paper into Phrasely, which will make it more human sounding, more unique, more perplexed, and therefore evade the system. Trace, buster. This is where we're at. This is the level of stupidity that we are seeing in the world. And quite frankly, artificial intelligence should be there to help us remove tasks from our life so that we can actually write, we can actually learn, we can actually study. And if you want to sit on your couch and get stoned all semester, fine. But don't cheat. This is absolutely ridiculous, because what's going to happen is the trace buster is going to come out, and the perplexity detectors are going to start detecting Phrasely, and on and on and on. It is absolutely and utterly ridiculous, and we are at this level of stupid with artificial intelligence. And for all the good it can do in, curing cancer and finding other things medically and everything else where it's helping, this is something that is utterly ridiculous. And so that is your stupid and ridiculous news for the Friday. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at Nick AESP, where you're going to get all Nick all the time. No ChatGPT here. Same with YouTube. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and just please attempt to stay private. And please learn something. Don't fake it. Learn, man, learn. We have a huge problem with that today. Take care.